NASA and SpaceX are the two names that come to our minds when thinking or hearing about space. Whom do you think is better, NASA or SpaceX? NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, was founded on the 29th of July 1958 by the government of the United States, with its headquarters in Washington, D.C. It does all researchers and discoveries that allow us to increase our knowledge about space, whereas SpaceX is a private firm with its headquarters at Hawthorne in California, founded by Elon Musk in the year 2002. Do you want to travel to the moon free of cost? Then hurry up, pack your things, and subscribe to our channel, Fly Me to the Moon, to explore the vast universe. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and click the bell icon to get notified of new video updates. To know who is better, first, we need to know about their functions and achievements. NASA is laid by the US government to study the universe by launching space missions which help us gain more information about the universe. For establishing NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Act were signed by Dwight D. Eisenhower on 29th of July 1958, and on the 1st of October 1958, it started its operations. The President Administrator of NASA is Clarence William Nelson II, who was appointed by Joe Biden, the current President of the United States of America. The first and most important achievement of NASA is the landing of man on the moon. Besides the moon, NASA's spacecrafts are sent to other planets in our solar system, the discovery of signs of water on Mars, and there are 44-year-old spacecrafts that send data even to this moment. The things NASA achieved till date is somewhat countless compared to SpaceX. Some of its achievements are Apollo, from 1968 to 1972. Apollo, or Project Apollo, by NASA, won in landing the human on the moon for the first time. Is the United States' third human spaceflight. Apollo 2 ran with 3 astronauts, and Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon for the first time on the 20th to 21st of July 1969. On the 24th of July, they landed back to Earth safely in the Pacific Ocean. Skylab. NASA launched the first space station known as Skylab between May 1973 and February 1974. Its purpose is to observe the Sun, observe the Earth, function as an orbital workshop, and conduct experiments. It cost $2.2 billion. Commercial resupply services. NASA has signed contracts with SpaceX and Orbital Sciences since 2008 and awarded $1.6 billion for 12 Cargo Dragon to SpaceX and $1.9 billion for 8 Cygnus flights to Orbital Sciences. These contracts are made as a solution to transport cargo and supplies to the ISS. Saturn V. It comes under the Super Heavy Lift Launch Vehicle, which was retired and flown from 1967 to 1973. It is developed by NASA to explore the moon. It is a spacecraft that has the certification to safely transport humans. Saturn V has 3 stages powered with liquid fuel. It owns the record with the largest capacity of payload to low Earth orbit, and it is the heaviest payload ever launched. Till date, it is the only one launch vehicle that carried humans beyond low Earth orbit. In 2020 US dollars, the project cost is approximately $49.9 billion. Artemis. Its main aim is to land the first woman and the next man on the moon by 2024, to land on the Lunar South region. NASA, with 3 partners, European Space Agency and Canadian Space Agency, and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, is on the Artemis mission program to explore the moon with a permanent base camping on it, which allows future missions to Mars much easier. A general estimate is that between 2022 and 2025, the project will cost $93 billion and $4.1 billion for a single launch. Next is SpaceX. The main aim of SpaceX is to reduce the cost of transportation to space and make settlements on Mars. They are the manufacturers of advanced spacecraft and rocket, which includes Falcon Heavy, Falcon 9 launch vehicles, engines of rockets, and so on. Let's talk about the achievements made by SpaceX. Falcon 1. It comes under the category of the small lift launch vehicle. It became the first fully liquid-fueled launch vehicle, the first privately developed one, on the 28th of September 2008. It became successful after 3 failures. On the 4th try, it reached orbit in September 2008, and on its 5th and final attempt on the 14th of July 2009, SpaceX delivered RASAC-SAT, a Malaysian satellite with a high-resolution camera to observe the Earth, which was also the first commercial launch of SpaceX. The cost of this project is $90 million. Falcon 9. It comes under the category of the reusable medium-lift launch vehicle, which is capable of transporting crew and cargo into the orbit of the Earth. It is the only certified US rocket, and the only commercial rocket to transport humans to orbit. Now it costs $67 million. Starship. Starship, developed by SpaceX, is the tallest and most powerful launch vehicle to date. It comes under a super heavy lift launch vehicle and is fully reusable. It has 2 stages to attain orbital velocity, which are the super heavy booster stage and the Starship's second stage or spacecraft. Starship is powered by the Raptor engine, with liquid oxygen and liquid methane as propellants. The cost of this long-term project, estimated in 2018, was $10 billion. Starlink. Starlink is a group of artificial satellites that works as a system to provide internet access to over 40 countries. Dragon spacecraft. These are partially reusable cargo spacecraft. It is also known as Dragon 1 or Cargo Dragon. The commercial resupply service program under NASA gave a contract to SpaceX to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. Falcon 9, a launch vehicle, launched Dragon into orbit to supply the ISS. In October 2012, Dragon began the cargo flight, which was regular. NASA managed to increase its partnership with the aeronautics industry in domestic and commercial aviation through Dragon and the Cygnus spacecraft. As per NASA's expectations, it cost $4.1 billion for each launch. So, when comparing NASA and SpaceX rockets, the Falcon Heavy of SpaceX has a capacity of 63 tons, whereas, in 1969, the Saturn V of NASA has twice of it. The largest rocket will be Saturn V until Starship is finished by SpaceX. Talking about the revenues, NASA is far better than SpaceX because NASA's revenue is $10 billion and SpaceX is around $100 million to $500 million. The biggest space organization in the world, NASA, has over 18,000 employees, and that of SpaceX is 12,000, in which NASA is better at providing employment opportunities. When looking at the advancement, the company with the fully reusable spacecraft, that is, the Starship and a methane rocket engine which is working smoothly, the Raptor is owned by one and only SpaceX. On the other hand, NASA, with great discoveries, studies, experiments, and exploration than any other space organizations on the planet, is not possible to compare. You may think that these centers are competing with each other, but they really aren't. NASA comes under the United States government and is not for gaining profit as SpaceX, but they depend on each other. In hopes of getting a way of transportation of cargo and crew to the International Space Station, NASA started investing in private space companies in 2006, and SpaceX was one of those to receive its first. It changed the entire look of the company that was under bankruptcy. NASA chose SpaceX to carry 2 of its astronauts to create a history in which one of them is the first woman to land on the moon and to explore more about the moon. To carry cargo to the ISS, NASA needs to depend on Northrop Grumman, and it needs to depend on Russian Soyuz to transport the crew, but now, it's a great relief for NASA with SpaceX. NASA and SpaceX have their own importance today. They both rely on each other. SpaceX is very honored to be part of NASA, and future space flights, says Elon Musk. So, now you know who's better. Let me know your opinions in the comment box below. Do like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell icons to get notified of new video updates. Check out other exciting videos on our YouTube channel. It's time to say goodbye for now. Stay tuned.